function now, and we'll get started. And we'll get going with Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Nikolai, take us through the ups and downs of that one. How you guys felt maybe after each period and going into the OT.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of back and forth. Bucky played a hell of a game. She was absolutely unreal again tonight. But yeah, sucks right now.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Nikolai, I suspect maybe I know the answer to this. Does this feel more like a point lost as opposed to a point gained, in that you tie it late, so you at least get it to 3-on-3? But is this one that you kind of maybe feel got away from you?
Yeah. You know what? I think our line was great offensively. We got chances. We scored on them. And defensively, we weren't strong enough. We were on the ice for all three of those goals. And, that sucks. So, I don't know. We got a point away against Toronto. That's not bad. So, we're going to take a look at that game, and then we're going to move forward and be ready for the next one, even though this is not fun.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Nikolai, what's the biggest challenge the Leafs present in terms of defending against them?
Well, they got a lot of speed, obviously. They have a lot of guys that are good at moving, shaking a guy, and they're getting the pucks to the net, and they got guys there, and Bucky was great tonight at kicking those out. So that's something that we gotta close down.
We'll go next to Carter Brooks from Game On. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, Nick. What was the thought process on the game tying play? Was it a shot pass all along? Did you see Paul there?
Yeah, he kind of took a few steps towards me, and it was a great tip by him. I just tried to shoot it hard along the ice for him to get a stick on it.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Nikolai, I just want to ask you about the overtime there. Blake and Mark's line, obviously, they get the first tap to start overtime. Is that one where I assume you guys are probably up next, but are you thinking, geez, it might not even get to us, given the skill on the ice? One way or the other, this might end on the first shift?
That's 3-on-3. There's going to be big chances either way. So you never know. But you just got to be mentally and you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready to step on that ice and go out and make a difference. So 3-on-3, it's fun. Tonight it's not fun. But yeah, there's always going to be a bunch of chances.
And final question to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Nick, you seem to be really feeling it on your two goals there with the quick releases. Does that get completely erased when you lose?
No. They were both great passes. I just tried to get the puck to the net as quickly as possible. But I was out there for all goals against. So I got to take a look at that game. That doesn't feel good, and that's something that I got to change.
Thanks very much, Nikolai.
Thank you.
Connor, I don't know where you'd rank that game for you personally, but I assume it all gets overshadowed when you don't get the victory in overtime.
Yeah, it kind of stinks, but we did some good things, and we have some things to improve on. And me personally, I thought I stole a lot of goals tonight, so I'm happy with my performance, and I'm just looking forward to the next one.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Gregor. Thanks, Connor. Yeah, just on that point, Connor, like, does this feel like a point gained or a point lost, or maybe a bit of both? Because you obviously have the lead going into the third, then you're behind, but then you get the big goal to at least get it to overtime. Can it almost feel a bit like both?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess it depends how you look at it. I mean, they're a good team over there too, and we knew they were going to come with their best game. And anytime you can take a team to OT, I mean, it closes the gap a little bit more. So, a small victory, but obviously in this league we want to win. So, we're not cherishing a point, but it's better than not getting one.
Go next to Jamie Thomas from 680 CJOB Jets Radio. Go ahead, Jamie.
Connor, what did you think of the response from your group after you fell behind for the first time 3-2?
I felt like our energy got good, got going, and we really put it all forward and put it to them. And we stuck with our game. We didn't expand anything, and we didn't freak out. We just stuck to our game, and it ended up paying off.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Connor. A lot of times on nights where you have these, borderline superhuman efforts, you'll say that, your team allowed you to know where things were coming from. You'll give a lot of credit to your team. But I mean, all the breakaways, all the high scoring chances, is there any other way to look at it tonight other than you kind of got hung out to dry a bit?
I'm never going to use those words. I did my job tonight. And the guys in front of me, they got us to OT, so they clearly did their job. Not every night's going to be perfect. Not every night's going to be defensive wins, and not every night you're going to get the best goaltending. So that's what I love about this team is we have it all, and we can do it all. And even when maybe it wasn't our best defensive game, but we still got to OT. So, this group shows character, and I'm really excited for the future we're here.
Just a couple more for Connor. We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weber.
Connor, what have these two games shown you in terms of how your group stacks up, and what are you expecting from the rematch on Saturday?
Definitely going to be a high-flying game. These are two really good teams. You can feel it. You can feel the energy, and you just can see it in everyone's eyes. Everyone knows that this isn't going to be an easy one. We can't just walk through this team, and you got to fight for every inch of ice. And they might have got it tonight, but the next one, it's going to be on.
And final question to Murat Atash from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Connor, in one of your first answers, you used a phrase that I loved. You said that you stole a lot of goals tonight. And, is that one of those things that for you, win or lose, it can be kind of a process-based thought for you? You can look at that for how you feel about your play?
Yeah, a little bit. I like the structure of my game, and that's kind of what I'm hinting at there. I didn't come out of my game for whatever was in front of me. That being said, we still blocked a lot of shots, and we still controlled a lot of the fillers in between. And for me personally, we got to OT, so we got a point. So it's not all bad. There is some good there.
Thanks very much, Connor. Sportsnet. Go ahead, Ken.
Evening, Blake. What have these two games shown your group in terms of how you stack up against Toronto so far?
No, I think we don't judge ourselves by the other team. I think we're focused on our game. Obviously Toronto's had a great season and they're a really good team. They play really hard, and there's not a lot of free ice out there for either side, as you can see, and pretty good, hard fought battles, both these games.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Blake, how much of this point would you say belongs to Connor Hellebuyck?
Well,
how good was he?
He was great, Paul. He was great. He's fantastic. He was fantastic the first game. His game has definitely risen to the occasion for us. When we've needed it, these last two games, he's been great.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Blake. When you have like these sort of wild swings in the third period, you're ahead and you're behind, and you tied it, and then the overtime. Does it feel like a point lost, a point gained, or maybe a little bit of both?
I think we're a glass half full type of team. We're down a goal with a couple minutes left. Anytime you're down a goal and you pull your goaltender and you tie the game up, you feel like you stole a point.
We'll go next to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Hi, Blake. Just a lot of swings in that game. I just wanted to ask about the play in the offensive zone before the overtime goal, where I guess Riley's stick breaks and then you guys have a chance. What happened on that play? What was what happened in that moment?
We just talked about it. It was, it was kind of like we all thought it was going to go to a different place, and it ended up going. I think ultimately, Stas makes a great play in the corner to win that battle and free the puck up and gets it over to Scheif. I think Scheif's thinking to give me a one-timer. It was a little bit hard and behind me, so I couldn't hit a one-timer. So I gave it back to Scheif. We kind of had a 3-on-2 situation, and Scheif sucked a guy in, gave it to Stas. Stas tried to go backdoor to me, and it just didn't pan out. So those things happen. Had that puck gone through Matthews' legs, it's game over. We win.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Blake. There's a potential for you to have to go through this team when it comes playoff time and you're trying to get to where you want to go. I'm interested in games like this where Connor's able to do what he's done, where you guys are able to fight your way back into the game, just the way you play them. Are you a guy who believes in the ability to kind of plant a seed in games like this so that the next time that team sees you coming, that kind of lives in their head, what Connor can do to them, what you guys can do to fight your way back into a game?
We have to qualify for the playoffs before we can worry about, who we're playing in the playoffs. So, we play these guys again in a couple of days. Our goalie was outstanding. There's no question. I mean, that should be the storyline. He stood on his head for us tonight. But we also have a locker room full of guys that played their ass off too. So, I don't think Toronto's talking in their media that it was a cakewalk playing us tonight. I think we played it. Played our tails off, and when we needed Helly, he certainly stood up to the task. So we're going to worry about Saturday's game. I think we play these guys 5 or 6 more times in the regular season. If that all shakes out, we so happen to play them in playoff time. I think they'll know that what style of game we play. We'll know what style of game they play, and we'll take it from there.
Thanks very much, Blake.
the kind of wild momentum swings. What was your biggest takeaway from tonight?
A really, really good goalie. And we were able to come back after giving up 2 and tie a game.
Go next to Carter Brooks from Game On. Go ahead, Carter.
Hi, Coach. Just moments ago, Blake Wheeler mentioned that there was some miscommunication in the offensive zone prior to the overtime winner. He said if there's a play goes the other direction, it's game over, Jets win. Puck goes the other way, game over, Leafs win. What do you say to your team after something like that?
Oh, nothing. I mean, we put those guys out there for a reason. I'd take that chance again. You get 3-on-2 net front with those 3 guys, and it's worked for us. We've been just a really strong overtime team. I mean, at the end of the day, with the chances for and against the way they were, it was probably a just result, but we had our chance.
Next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Paul, your team coming in wanted to reduce the prime red zone chances. How far short did you fall of that?
I liked our first. I thought we were right on there. And then it didn't, we weren't able to contain them after that. We struggled with it.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Paul, just with overtime, I guess this is the 4th one where you've used the 3 forwards. How do you decide which line maybe starts? Because it hasn't always been the same line.
No, it's all face-offs. I got Scheifetz, winning that draw is important. And it has been important in our wins. So, Scheif, I think I had him 11-7 going into the overtime, and Pierre-Luc was, I think, at 4-8. I think so. That's just it's clean like that.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Paul, you talk a lot about the way your team builds offense. On a night like this where, Connor's the story, the goals that Nicky does get are really good chances. Is there something about when you get into these games that it's almost like a rope-a-dope style or something like that you're bouncing back to score those goals and there's a reason for it?
No, I thought they were really aggressive with their gap, and it was a hard gap, and it was going to be it would be a knockdown play like the first goal where you were able to catch them maybe pressing up. And the second goal is basically they rim the puck to the weak side, and they're pressing so heavy into the corner that the other side of the ice was wide open. So we didn't do enough of it. They give them credit. They were right on it, right on the puck tonight, and that's how their 3-2 goal happened. I mean, they were on the puck tonight and wouldn't come off it, and we had a difficult time moving it. Now, that's not a statement of our back end. It's the group. So they were good. We're going to, break some chances loose, but on breakaways alone, they had us tonight.
Go next to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Paul. Do you say anything after a game like that to Connor Hellebuyck with all the saves he made? And then similarly, Nikolai Ehlers comes up and talks to us, and he's pretty upset about being on the ice for 3 goals against, even though he scores 2 goals. I mean, it's kind of, just a weird emotional state for maybe two of your players. Do you talk to them at all there, or is that just kind of let them deal with that?
Yeah, we'll get to everybody for the most part. I mean, Connor talks to Wade Fleury after every game, probably 10 minutes after the game, gets undressed, and he's got a great awareness of his game, so he knows how good he was. He'll probably tell you he wants the 4th one, and that's just the way he's wired. Nikolai, that's growth, right? Like that's major growth for a young player. He scores 2 on the ice for a bunch, and that's what he takes home with him, right? He didn't like the way that went. That's a good thing. He's not in a bad mental state. He's putting pucks in the net, but at the same time, he knows that he was on the ice when they were, so that doesn't make him very happy.
Go next to Paul Friesen from the Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Just following up on Nick a bit, was he as bad defensively as he told us he was?
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was, but we're not gonna individualize blame on those goals. So he's on the ice, and that's the way he takes that, right? He takes it as a line. So he's kind of, Nikolai really this year I think we saw it in the bubble. Where he took a step forward for us. But you look at his play tonight in terms of his compete and his battle and being hard on pucks, and obviously the skill that comes out on those 2 goals that he scored. But this guy's playing some great hockey for us, and that's some maturity there. Like he's wants the win more than the stats, right? That's a great thing.
Thanks very much, Coach.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be back.